Good morning, American Jiu-Jitsu. We are here at the dojo making a specific tape. This one is on armbar from a high punch. Actually from a high punch, a straight punch, and a low punch. These videos have basically been done, and they were all libraried on our American Jiu-Jitsu LI Facebook group page, as well as our American Jiu-Jitsu LI YouTube page. So you can see the entire video. But what we decided to do is go back and be a little bit more specific. The videos that we made in the past were a little bit more reference videos for our students. Now we're getting a little bit more detailed and giving you some of the fine points that you need to know to make these techniques actually work. We're excited about that. We have Shion, Kathy, and Billy here, always assisting me with these tapes, and I so appreciate that. We do practice still our social distancing. We're hoping for a July 15th return date to the dojo. We'll keep you posted on that. But right now we're going to give you content so you have things to do while you're at home. We do Zoom classes about 6 times a day, about 6 days a week. So if you want to Zoom, go to AJJ Centers, look for our codes, ask another student for a password, or email me at American Jiu-Jitsu LI Gmail for the codes, and I'll be able to give you the passwords to get into those classes. All right. So high punch into armbar. First technique is called the koto gatame. All right. Kind of a cool technique. As a person throws a high punch, we strike with a palm blow right to the person's body. We come over the top and we extend the hand. A lot of times when I'm showing this technique to a person for the first time, they go, well, what if the person does this? And what if the person does that? The way I teach is I tell people, hold on to your what if questions. Let's learn the technique the way it is. Believe me, after 51 years and 9 degrees of doing this, I have heard your what if questions. And if I hadn't heard your what if questions, I respect that. But you gotta learn A before you learn B, before you learn C. Then eventually you learn whole alphabets, then eventually you learn how to spell words, then eventually learn how to construct words, then eventually learn how to write stories. So you gotta give yourself a little patience and write your questions down. When the dojo opens up, you could ask questions to me personally or my instructors, and we'll be glad to answer the what if questions, but we can't do that on the video, obviously. So the koto gatame is because this is what happens, and this is the gesture that the person makes after we hit the palm blow. All right, so we're gonna go a little bit more detail. Let's look at the technique first. All right, so he throws a high punch, he strikes with that palm blow, he comes over the top, turn all the way to the camera so you can see, and notice how he has her back hand to his back, his arm is across the person's elbow, and this here is giving one direction, and then his hip is turning for a second direction. What makes this technique valuable is because it's a reaction from the first strike. When you hit a person with a palm blow, even though we're not big with palm blows to the body, it's usually a face strike. In this case, for whatever reason, we're striking to the palm, and that's gonna open the person's hands up. If it doesn't open the person's hands up, we have 7,000 other techniques. I always ask people when they ask me what if questions, well, what if what happens is exactly what I'm showing? You know, we always have to know everything pretty much in a combative situation. This is one piece of it. So again, let's look at that one more time. She throws a punch, he strikes, boom, with the palm blow, and then from here turns. Now, the reason why he might want this technique is because he realizes after she threw the punch, there's his second attacker. So now he doesn't have his back to the second attacker. So, like I said, there are a million other techniques that we have, but this technique is because something is brewing within this situation that wants to turn him 180 degrees so he can deal with that attack. At any given time, he could snap a person's arm with this. We did have something happen many years ago with this one technique, and the person went a little too far, and it took that muscle and it popped it right off, and that had to be surgically repaired. It was an accident, but just to kind of show you the devastation that there is with this technique is really, you gotta be very careful when doing any of these techniques. They might look like they're nothing much until they get done to you or you do them to somebody else. And please, we don't want you to watch these videos and inflict hurt, pain on anybody. This is why coming to the dojo in a controlled situation is so important. Let's look at the second technique. We're gonna go back to that hijidori we did on that last tape, figure 4, because again, we wanna get out of that position. So from here, as he throws, he circles around, and then from here, notices that I'm the second attacker, comes over with the hijidori, and he can use her as a buffer in between me and him, and we're doing the same thing. He's putting an arm there as a fulcrum, he's pressing down with the right hand, up with the left hand, and he has extreme pain on that armbar. Next technique is called the hijikima. We talked about that in the last tape too, but now it's gonna come from a high wedge. So he's gonna deliver that atemi, bang, which is gonna drive a head back, he's gonna go around, underneath the person and put it right across his body. We sometimes refer to this as the Statue of Liberty technique because you're kind of posing like a Statue of Liberty, but his arm and shoulder becomes the fulcrum. He presses down in one direction, up in another direction, and causes tremendous pain. The next technique is going to be a straight punch into a wakigatami. So we're going to go back to that technique that we did on the last tape, where the person throws a straight punch, he uses a fan block, comes over the top, armpit over the elbow, and he locks it in place right there. Very effective technique, very quick technique. Let's look at that just one more time. He uses a parry and a fan, he comes over the top and breaks that person's arm, or submits the person. Doesn't have to necessarily break the person's arm, but can hold that person in submission, all right? Let's look at a same thing with a punch from a straight punch, but now he needs to get behind the person because he sees that second attacker. So he's going to parry the hand, he's going to strike with what we call a scissor punch, get behind the person, and use what we call a haragatami, which is extending the neck and the arm. Okay, so from here she throws a punch, boom, strikes, gets behind, and there it is. He's got the armbar right there, and he's got a neck crank right there, so he could hold the person and use the person as a shield to protect himself. All right, a couple more techniques. Next technique is going to be the person throwing a low punch. No, let's continue with the straight punch before we end with the low punch. This time, because I want to show you how everything kind of comes together as a system, he's going to throw a straight punch, he's going to parry, fan, he's going to feed it to the other hand, and then he's going to go underneath and he's going to do a half turn. He could do a full and a half, he's only going to do a half today. All right, so parry, fan, same as he did before, he goes underneath, and from here, brings and can bring her right down. Beautiful technique. Again, you see the similarity in techniques from the last prior two tapes because it's a system. This is just breaking it down from a cross wrist grab, a straight wrist grab, and now we're dealing with a high punch. Let's get the last punch, which is a low punch, which from here he's going to block the low punch, he's going to temi high, so it distracts the person. From here, he's going to take the hand, put it on his shoulder, and this is called a urigatami, and literally can snap that person's arm in a heartbeat. So these are your high punch techniques into the arm bars that you have seen if you watched the last tape. These techniques sit at the blue belt category at our system. Again, if you have any questions, hopefully after July 15th we'll be reopened. But right now I hope you're staying healthy and safe. I hope you're getting out and enjoying some of the beautiful weather. Just keep yourself covered, and then we will have a protocol when we come back into the dojo that everybody will be very, very safe. The dojo is 100% ready for people. We're just waiting for permission, and once that happens, you can feel assured that we will follow every protocol and be as safe as we could to protect you. That's what we're all about. We're all about protection, and I always tell people in this kind of situation, if you feel comfortable always wearing a mask, wear a mask. If you don't feel comfortable, if you feel you don't need a mask, that's up to you, all right? It's about protecting yourself. You know, it's not about anything other than that. So you do whatever you feel is appropriate. Don't let people intimidate you. Don't let people tell you what to do. You do what you feel is appropriate, but always be respectful of other people. All right, so you want to always make other people feel good about being around you as well. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about being safe, and that's what it's all about. American Jiu-Jitsu LI Facebook group page, Facebook YouTube page, and our email at gmail.com. AJJ Centers is our website for all our Zoom codes. Again, we thank Kathy and Billy for assisting with all of these lessons, and we hope you're staying healthy, and I hope that we're going to see you real soon. Hopefully July 15th will bring in phase 4. Thank you so much for viewing our videos. We hope you have a wonderful day, and hopefully we're going to see you soon. Have a great day, people.